cho say, oh, Mira, dano be dano na sembi na wo catch me na say dano be well na we ye no chese many anyi ho a you know as nka ni papa mu no ne say chese wo be oh sir o ene me kan sen oh wo can say oh ene bia na yes like you know that was not the intention and am person ebia you know sometimes they make us a communication yeah you can then that goes about to you will go to communication in marriage somebody I say you know sometimes you know and your communication no na ye key no did the person understand what you said so what I say nia wo ka no no ɔte ase ebia na se ebia de no kra wo ka no se bi kwa ebia na enye bufu se so what I say enye bibi ese but because nipa kono maybe because the way we are all different now we come from different families, we come from different educational backgrounds, we come from like you free like society, you free so many different society like nyoma bebre just say Emma I bring it up as an individual into know sometimes na make can only be a relationship especially marriage because this thing marriage you know you have to ask the person so asem na bia me kan ye na bia wo asem bia wo kan na bia nya ebufu asem so what I say enya asem but sometimes bia the way I will be put ade no last week and I don't know those of you who are here near kan ye one of our panelists no can say or no like but if you are yet to baby where she was coming from no woman idea of so can say thank you ni ade appreciate ade but later ni ku ko ware no or like o man ade or see oh, and I made me see my Jimmy Ford to say, like you know, but Sani raising no, so what I see, Sana no casa, like or casa diana, just say it was an insult, like a near dear, which you said the upbringing where he was coming from, that was into one day. Or no, Barnes or no so retaliate or can't say, no, see, now I did time that way, I did way, I did like you know, and then that is where the guy came to the realization, but no, can Obano went on to say because she didn't understand him, like so I say, no, nim says son or casa like or young no casa to say, oh, baby, I did the attempt, which is a joke. That is where he's coming from. Okay, let's into the interest of her. But na make us sometimes you know when you have a partner, when you partner na send be back when something comes up, you guys need to sit down and talk about it. But sometimes your community, especially not because you're Ghana for you know, most of us are war you know so you're Ghana for so we're gonna base our on Ghanaians like a Ghana for us so what I see. Sometimes a very man feel say, oh, so I all born crap or seven muko them na muko dape that's it. But you know these things no, na pile up. These things won't we will be bonny, no one panic or they at all. Why throw egu the back of the head. Na me can one chungu book mo crap is at the back of the head. Into and one patch or maybe or kind crap now they joke one patch and then these things continue happening like so what I see it continue happening like oh we are dear just oh the why you say you will never say sorry we are dear and no one say oh adeche anajo edu anajo I just say mokoda ho oda no so na muye ni say muye then that's it you know these things you know it piles up a pile up into afede da bibi ebe pile up afede bedru baby no near cousin so that punch near you bedru it will come to a point in that person's life of you say no what better say I been say why is this happening like this is like just say continuously no they be before and you are not able to say sorry into no yes and BBL anything be before but when there's a new thing probably kwako kai ade bi na we year no 1910 no akwa it's not that because no per closure so I say one to me and can say oh Mira me yiri mi kunu ade ya me ye we like chese manye ni ye facha me and you know sometimes na me can say sorry no is a word bia sometimes obi uni obi kasa if you why you be born the moment you like who realizes so I didn't why you know it's a born na wunya kan born pa won say nipa kono kran sembe bebe no one no person kan right away no won say no ahome asem no so you will be or still no after that or be cheche mu kakra but you know the moment you say you are able to say sorry no emanyoma chese like things emanyoma jojo. And we all need to learn say nyome bi wo ho a like ye nipa. People are expecting like na make us a closure. Why ye bibi enye now be ka say sometimes no nyome bi wo crap you don't want to wait for the person to call you say oh nana hima that no asem na wodidi me no want you know we are human. Sometimes you have to sit down and think say ade a me di me nwi ade a me di me yiri ade a me di me queen chese bia manye ne ye bia manka ne ye. Let me go back to the person and talk to the person. Me mani pani who say oh maybe ade no ebia na nyesa if that was not even the intention poa na me kano but ebia chese se dia me kano no e ban wrongly ntino manye ne ye fa che me and then na asem di na asem ko. But the more people nana yes nana hima people do not do that and no na your problem no. And what I say and in the society that we society na ye free mono most not make I'm not saying that women are 100% right but you know most men they have some form of ego obi aye no kan or say enye me crap enye 2 na meye no meye 6 meye 7 like sometimes the response na nipa krono crapo edi ka ho abroad the response the person is bringing no crapo ebesa ahwe akoma because now you are expecting person oh asome see aseme ya meka kire no ate ase say oh sir enye manka ne ye manye ne ye and na mo atena se na mo service asem until next time bibi ba onko for that same thing in mabiom because asem mo tena ase solve but the man solve na se asem no na meka no pali apa it will get to a point in your life no nipa krono afede ohun se wan kasa no we habitual like just a would o habits no like you know sa na oti into no but nipa bi wo ho a on feel like ohun se sa na oti but obi wo ho so the person will take it at heart so that because based on where nipa krono ofie ba no nintiti ene nyoma bi ofi mu ba no ofio se nye sa na se uye no nti no ubeya afede bedroom bi one day ubehu ade kitikiti bi sometimes no ubehu ubeya ade kese no crap on pay no mind don't feel but ubehu one day no the very little thing no bibi kitikiti a ube feel say oh we put the enye hwe no no de begina so aka say at this point no you know so our ego no na I think say Obi made a statement no aka say sometimes people obi wo ego it's not because say wo no it's not because they be more educated than you. It's not because they be a crap like or you're higher than you. But you know when people have ego now, it's not about their educational level. It's not about ABA. Sometimes crap now crowd was discussing it acrono. You know, but you know, these are certain things ego a JB a woni musa anoti, you know. And so we are learning nana mekan we we are learning say you maybe one you in a relationship, especially marriage, you know. I mean, Namika, sorry, dear. We've all said it. Baby, I will be. You need to be able to apologize. We are there, yeah. Manipani who said, "Woman crapo." Namika no. Me sometimes no. Obviously, sometimes me tianti almost na. After they do baby, I don't mean saying I'm my friend. I bet almost see mama. I said mudano. Okay, ekuya na utiano no. You didn't feel it depends on I. Now we aka say na me so ma church me so ebi azamic that weapon me see based on ebi asem we ma catch your be 5 times okay say be no me catch you anopa no you know che say no ma church mu say ntino say me can one time no na wote na me can twice kra na akoye ye kra nke massa but next time I'll try say be a mintin but next time no so me can say more you know ya like there's understanding so that's understanding abem. Sometimes someone to me who say, okay, then they were at fault. I mean, who said like sometimes someone who said they are at fault. Sometimes, oh, Papa.
Let me see.
Uh-huh.
Maybe so say. So being sorry can na or no or be offending one or expect to say nipa no so onye din and I be affect na.
You know these are yes. Omo sorry can no. Or no expect say wo ye na dia. O pese wo mo be pa ne chow. You know, a ego no, it's the ego because any pakono or ego when you say he's too big or you're too big, he or she is too big to say sorry. So I see. Just of you say me, I'm right, Mr. or Mrs. Righteous. And so no, I feel so no, you're right, and so I apologize to Obi. That is the problem we have. And if you live in a society, if you live in a household, if you live in a place where you cannot say you're sorry, we are there now, you cannot say sorry. It will not make us say at the end of the day, sometimes Obi or own few or decided say one casa or tintino on few, but any time be na ube you're not gonna find something like this everywhere. So I see. Obi wakra na make maybe a beginning on feel won't feel say like oh sana outy. But it will get to a point in the life crap will be obese to soon watch nipa back or say back could be I can say now nipa as soon as see well and you're right. That person is not supposed to treat you like that. And then nipa krono no hu beba no ho so. But I always say one thing, they say, you know, sometimes when you love yourself, it's not they be a me madam love. One thing I say is we need to learn to love ourselves. So what I see. We need to learn to love ourselves in a certain way. And they say when somebody is doing you wrong, you know, we don't love ourselves. Like sometimes we feel say, oh, we are taking care of other people, we are loving other people, and we do not love ourselves so well. And they say, so be your bonia. So what I see constantly. Who what nipa with the Pierre or your baby bonnie. The beard obey your baby bonnie. But the more you love yourself, you will see that this is wrong. This is not how it's supposed to be. You know, like a name when we go on the social media, sharing some as someone our for me, no, as a so mutane fee no more cano. Now we are to ama we was social media. Now where's the response about social media? So I see. And like social media, they be a na many you say what papa be came. And then remove AI aba. There are so many good things we can embrace. Na me can so you be a true story. You are able to write story. Who call Auntie Akosia Frakomani page. She creates wonderful. She has created a story like a wonderful story. I just say like series no near dear. If anything, we should be able to ask them like it may be and say, oh. Auntie Akosia, dear, you send our we no how like send it, sinis and your man. Then we are yes, you able to me. I share baby. Yes, you able to me. I try my yes, you like we're able to teach the generations after us. Say be a be unyebi or onim you maybe start like obey to be a year not their gigi. No, this is not what we are doing. We are on the other side of social media. Other side I ain't talk. Other side that just will be good be any mercy. We say you have been living in a society like the downfall of other people is what is so much important to us. Just say na see you can say we didn't be guasi. We are not even focusing on our own self. We are not even focusing on yankasa just yankasa ye. You know there are so many things going on. Just say na me can obinim ni ya social media na abeto ya. Just obi akebino. What is going on in other people's houses is worse. It could be worse. But you know, because no na beto until we are kanya, just say everybody is saying what they have to say to make them feel good. But that make us say, look, sorry, saying thank you. Sorry and na make those two work hand in hand. If you are able to apologize, we your spouse, baby, who can't say and not dani you have to know the place, time, when and where. So I see. And sometimes, you know, I did not walk after apologizing. Are you going back to do the same thing? This thing went on to say, now your story, you know, like you see how do we learn to apologize? For